Hello and welcome to another episode of It Was Mooney, your source for all things movie, streaming, and pop culture related. I'm your host, Kosi, and I'm joined always by Wani B. And we're joined in studio once again by friend of the show, Jim.
Best friend of the show,
Jimothy.
Glad to be here.
Jimothy
What's up, brother?
might be our number one guest. Either him or Eric.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
Eric
thank you.
getting
I'm
out there in terms of like the consecutive appearances. Yeah, man. Dude, great to see you guys. Man, we're all having the Super Bowl hangover. You know, it's going to be a Super Bowl heavy show.
Look over that Chiefs and Eagles game. That definitely lived up to expectations.
Man, it did.
Depends whose expectations.
Right. Seriously, I think we can finally say the refs are no longer being paid off. Is that true? Is it
Is
over
the
now?
NFL not rigged?
We'll find out. Yeah.
Bro, it's never as rigged as it was when Tom Brady was around.
Man.
The
But no, we'll get into all that and more on this episode. We'll also talk about that halftime show as well, guys. So
we'll talk. We'll start with trailer trash. Talk about mostly, because he wanted to cheat a little bit, but mostly movie trailers from the Super Bowl. We're not going to go into the crappy Ben Affleck trailer with. I don't even know. It's just a bunch of Boston guys.
With Casey Affleck was up in there.
Casey Affleck, I think Bill Belichick was in there.
Bill Belichick.
I swear to God.
That was weird.
Yeah,
That was
Bill
weird.
Belichick was there.
Yeah.
And I guess the Lilo and Stitch one doesn't really count either. So skip that one.
No, we're actually not doing every single
actually
movie
love
because
Stitch, but
there's
yeah.
too many movies. Actually, we're not doing the live action ones.
Yeah.
So let's jump us off, Kosi.
All right. So this first trailer in the trailer trash segment. All right, so first up is the movie Thunderbolts. So this is the upcoming Marvel movie, you know. So Marvel, again, this is the 36th film in the MCU. They're going strong, like almost like 20 years in. And this stars 17 years in. Jeez Louise. Star-studded cast. This stars Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, Louis Pullman, Hannah John Kamen, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Geraldine Baswami. Seinfeld
Girl's back. Oh my god.
Seriously, it's
looking good.
I'm reading off the cast list.
I say
It's crazy.
Seinfeld Girl, the Veep girl.
Veep, yes.
Holy
Juan.
shit, that
Yes.
was her birth.
Yes.
You watch Veep?
Yes. Well,
Please
I
watch
saw the
Veep.
first two episodes. I'll say that.
Okay, you gotta watch more. It gets way
Seriously,
better
guys,
later
watch
on.
Veep.
Okay.
Julia Louise is in there. She's great. But yeah, so star-studded cast. So in the movie, just quick premise, it's about a group of anti-heroes that are caught in a deadly trap by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by the Veep herself, and they're forced into doing this Suicide Squad-like mission.
You can just say it's Marvel's reboot of the Suicide Squad.
Basically.
Yeah, essentially,
Yes.
with so many different characters.
Yeah, that's really what stuck out to me most. I want to hear from you guys. What did y'all think just initially, just about just this Super Bowl spot? Dope trailer.
So I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah,
Right. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It seemed fun, and I don't know. It seemed fun, but also heartfelt and like sentimental in an earnest way.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
feel
can
like
see
they
that.
were punctuating every serious moment with a joke. It did feel like they were all funny. Florence Pugh is one of my favorite
Love her.
actresses in all of Hollywood. One of my favorite actors, just you know,
beautiful.
in all of Hollywood. The cast is pretty stacked. It's one of the people we haven't seen much. Ghost was from Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, Hannah John Kamen's character.
We saw the Red Guardian from
David Harbour, yeah.
what was it, the Black Widow movie?
Black Widow, yep.
We saw John
Walker.
Walker from Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you haven't kept up seriously with Marvel, there's a good chance you'll miss some of these. Actually,
Taskmaster's in there from Black Widow
Yes,
as well.
I didn't expect to see Taskmaster there.
Yeah.
We actually barely see her. Right?
Barely.
Most of the car scenes, most of the big ensemble scenes, she's not seemingly there. So I don't know if that means they recruit her late or that she dies early. I could see either one of those.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised on
do
that.
the-
She was a very lame character in the movie she was shown in compared to how cool she was in the comics.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
the Taskmaster character in the comics is like a guy who can like copy your moves and just fight. Black Widow movie kind of did something
Something like that.
Little
More
like that.
robotic,
Yeah,
kind of.
made it
If you ever
tech-based.
watch the Deadpool First Class, no, not First Class.
X-Men First Class.
No, Wolverine Origins.
X-Men Origins.
yeah.
X-Men Origins,
Yeah.
where they made Deadpool into a mouthless, weird creepy dude.
They closed the
still
mouth.
Ryan Reynolds
of
there?
the
That was
Merc
still
with the
Ryan
mouth.
Reynolds.
Yep.
But they literally is the Merc with a mouth, and
sewed his mouth shut.
Sewed his mouth
I
shut.
think that was satire for it.
Well, it was a studio note. There was like,
On
yo, shut
some
the guy
level,
up.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It was a terrible movie.
Yes.
I only enjoyed it because I watched that pirated with no special effects.
Yeah, man.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, man.
The version.
The crappy Nigerian
Yes.
download you
Yeah.
get
Yes.
for like
Oh.
36
You would see the
megabytes.
wires.
Yeah.
You would actually see the wires.
You see the green
You
before
would
the
see
green screen. Yeah.
The big climatic fight. It was just the normal on a small square. Everything else was gray.
Oh my.
It was hilarious.
But yeah,
I had a great time watching it drunk in college. So.
But going back to Thunderbolts, though, we're also missing a character called Sentry, played by Lewis Pullman.
That seems to be the villain.
Yeah, the villain, maybe like antagonist. This was actually way before the movie came out. This was supposedly going to be played by Stephen Yeun. He's the voice of Invincible.
I love
He's in
that
a lot of
guy.
stuff. He was in Nope. Yeah, but then I guess scheduling, whatever.
Walking Dead, bro.
Yeah, Walking Dead, Glenn. But yeah, he couldn't do it, so they got Lewis Pullman. He's actually, you saw him in Top Gun Maverick. He was Bob in Top Gun Maverick. He's going to be Bob here as Sentry. Yeah, this movie. Look, I guess I'm the resident Marvel shill here on the show. I've been excited for a lot of movies, but like this one and Captain America: Brave New World, I've kind of been like, this looks good, but
Wait,
not been
you
like.
think Captain America: Brave New World looks good?
It looks all right. I'm just not
Kosi,
like.
be honest. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, Kosi.
No, I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
No.
I'm not being honest here. Like, it hasn't blown me away, but like, I'll still check it out.
That's fair. That's as close to hating as Kosi's capable
Yeah,
of being.
I don't like hate it, but again,
It was
I'm
not
just,
impressive,
But just like this one, I'm not
That's
like.
as cold an endorsement as you'll ever hear from a movie from Kosi.
but I'll still watch it. But yeah, I'm just
Kosi
excited.
loved Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Love it.
so-
Me and Butters,
Oh,
we both
no.
love it.
All right.
You know what? I will defend Kosi's right to like movies that the general.
What was the fifth
Population
one?
does not
Dial?
love.
I'll give him all a chance. That's all I'll say. I want to go into like every
We
movie. I
need
see.
some positivity in Trump's America.
Yes.
But this one, like Thunderbolts, like I'm not super excited, but this trailer definitely got me like in. So
I was surprised
yeah.
by it, and I think I'll plan on checking it out. It's something new
Oh,
from
yeah.
the MCU, and
Yeah.
all these new characters or old characters coalescing really bring a special flavor to it.
Yeah, and it comes out in May, so a couple months.
May 2nd,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Now,
Fun movie it looks like.
Oh yeah. Now
Let's
moving on.
continue on.
To another fun movie. We have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Again, this is big boy Tom Cruise. You know how it is. He's trying to always see what different way
Is
Tom
this
Cruise.
the 10th?
Man, I think
I
this
lost
Impossible?
count. My reaction
this
is, oh my
is
goodness.
the 8th installment.
Tom
Eighth
Cruise
installment.
is at it again.
Episode
Wow.
8. Yeah, the final
Listen,
reckoning.
y'all.
It is.
Tom Cruise.
Is it the final movie? Ha.
Tom
We'll see.
Cruise is risking his life for our entertainment. I
That
need
is-
you to understand that. He's one of the best stuntmen in Hollywood.
He doesn't need to do this.
And stuntmen get injured.
All the
They
time.
get hurt. They sometimes die. It's not a supremely rare occurrence.
I mean,
And Tom Cruise is pushing the friggin' envelope.
that scene with him hanging upside down by his hand of the Cessna airplane was
And you know he's hanging
incredible.
up
And you
there.
know
And
that's real.
Good
Man.
shout out on the Cessna. That's real. He's doing that.
Yeah, he's a madman.
He's doing that. The scene in the last movie where he jumped off a cliff.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
On a
yeah.
motorcycle?
Like, he jumped
He
He
did
jumped
that.
Springfield Gorge, but for
Obviously,
real,
he
yeah.
didn't like jump straight into a train from that.
but he
There's
did that.
limits, but he still rode a motorcycle off an enormous ramp and base jumped down like he does not care about his own life. It's one of the most impressive.
And he'll do it again.
So what do you think of the stunts, Juan? Like, just like,
That's the whole movie, right?
but how can he top himself now? Like how do you think he's gonna do?
I
this?
honestly, I'm not sure if he can. Real talk,
Right.
he's getting older.
You know what? I got one. Space.
Low
They
orbit.
already tried that on
Launching
Fast
the
and
wall-
Furious, and it was actually kind of disappointing.
But for real this time, but
Okay.
we know it's him in
Okay.
low orbit.
Okay.
Like, what if he's like
Low orbit. Huh?
Like, what if he's just
Choking
floating?
up to there.
Yeah.
Space
If
suit.
there's one man that could do that, just I don't know.
That would be
I'm just
impressive.
throwing it out
That would
there.
be impressive. Honestly, though, if we're
Please
being
stay on
real,
that, Tom Cruise.
underwater shit is more impressive.
That's extra
That
dangerous.
one scene where he held his breath for like
Yeah, actual underwater
2
shit
minutes.
is more impressive.
Yeah.
Like, underwater, we know
That's
we
defined.
know the surface of the moon better than we know the surface of the ocean.
Absolutely true.
Yes, not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this. And let me see. It comes out.
Also, Haley Atwell,
Haley Atwell's in this. Bing
Very
Rames in
attractive.
this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg,
Vanessa
the old
Kirby.
school Vanessa Kirby. What's the black guy's name?
Ving Rhames, he's in this.
This is his only Hollywood paycheck.
Yeah, he just shows up.
Tom Cruise is keeping this guy's whole career alive. He's not that bad. I wouldn't hate to see him in more films. You know what I mean?
He's had a pretty good career. He was in Pulp Fiction. He was in
he was great in Pulp Fiction. Marcellus
Wallace. He was great in an indie overall low budget one film called Baby Boy.
Back in the 90s, early 2000s, he was a force. Now he's just catching the Mission Impossible
He's just hanging out with
paychecks.
Tom Cruise.
There's a good chance he's under contract and he almost has to do it.
Yeah, I think he's been in every one since the second one.
Wow.
I believe, so
okay, so he's probably the second most consistent character after Tom
Simon
Cruise.
Pegg is up
Simon
there.
Pegg. Simon Pegg joined him in 3, and then
Haley Atwell's the big love interest, and she's very fine.
Oh yeah, that's Captain Carter herself. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, so when's that coming out?
This comes out May 23rd. So we got like this spring.
May's
and
gonna
summer.
be a heavy month.
Yeah, spring and summer's looking pretty good.
May's gonna be a heavy month so far.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kosi. What's the next movie?
The next one. Well, we got Jurassic World Rebirth, guys. They're doing
Another
it
dinosaur
again.
movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, all you need to know about this trailer is that they decided that it was a good idea to rebirth the fun but mid-world sequence instead of the not always but often great Jurassic Park series.
Look,
Exactly,
you can't
yeah.
beat John Hammond's Jurassic Park no matter what, in my opinion. Even though the other ones that try to come back and do it, they were okay.
They
But
never
John
learned.
Hammond did it
Yeah.
right, and you just can't do it again. So I think the world is the right direction to go, to explore the first lab where dinosaurs were actually bred, and seeing of different action sequences in the water.
You know what? I just feel like these movies work better as one, a showcase of dinosaurs, like kind of nature, the power of nature, and then two, as horror movies. That's what Jurassic Park
like action
really
horror
made
almost,
it.
yeah.
I mean, there wasn't even that much action, right? It was just a straight up horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
from the first one, yes.
The first
Like
one
the
was
T-Rex
just
scenes?
and the T-Rex
The whole
once
Velociraptor-
the
the
lights
Velociraptor
once the
scene,
lights went
which they
off.
paid
Once the
homage.
lights went off, they do pay homage.
I think
But these are action movies first and foremost.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Right.
yes.
The Jurassic World 2 had some horror kind of elements, but it did so poorly you could almost it's hard to describe them as such.
Yeah.
But the first movie was freaking terrifying.
I remember as a kid, I was like, all right, this.
Even as an adult, it fucks with you watching the kids almost die to the T-Rex, watching the kid get stamped on. It's a scary movie. It's a
Devoured.
great horror movie.
I'll say this though, this new one directed by Gareth Edwards. He's the guy that did like Star Wars Rogue One, and it's written by.
Did he also do some of the world movies?
He did Godzilla. That's what he
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
what
he
it was.
but it's also written by the screenplay written by David Koepp, and so David Koepp wrote the original Jurassic Park movie. So that gives me hope. Like
there's good hope.
and and a lot of people that made that the original
But
movies
wait,
are.
I mean, the Jurassic Park was based on a book, though.
Yeah, it was based on. You know what? Any bets on if they're gonna open the same way as Jurassic Park does with the horror sequence?
Yeah, that opening sequence was pretty. Where the
With the
guy
guys
that.
getting sucked into the rage.
When Newman died, that was freaking horrifying.
that was kind of like that was horrifying, but like, hey man,
It
that's
was
what happens.
it was cosmic
man,
retribution.
that's what you get.
Karmic retribution.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, it was horrifying. That scene messed me up as a kid.
Yeah, that was
That almost messed me up worse than the T-Rex scenes.
But I think this new one. I think they're going to go. I think they might be going back to those roots. With Scarlett Johansson's in this, Mahershala Ali's in this.
Scarlett's looking great, as
So
always.
it's a great
Always
cast
does.
they have. Yeah, I love this. So,
And date for that one?
this is going to come out July 2nd. So
okay.
a really packed May, then June, then July. I'm going in, and speaking of July, we're going to go right into the next one coming out in July. This is the end of July. It's Fantastic Four: First Steps. This comes out July the 25th of this year. So, again, this stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, and Joseph Quinn, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as the first family of Marvel. And it's about we're not sure what this is about. We know it takes place in like 1960s retrofuturistic Earth, but they're trying to, protect Earth from Galactus and its herald Silver Surfer. So, guys, what'd y'all think of this trailer, this first
Thing.
look?
What do we talk about the Thing first?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, just what's the thing?
I mean, that's his name, isn't it?
Yes,
Thing,
the
yes.
thing is.
No, he looked great. I thought he looked kind of a mix between reality and comic way. He had the right look about him. I think.
Marvel's done a much better job in recent years. I'll give them credit. of taking comic book looks but making them real life appropriate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even early on, they felt kind of embarrassed with some of these costumes.
Almost like costumes.
The costumes. Let's look at it. It's not the dark color, right? They've kind of went to lighter shade.
It's the Alex Ross.
And it's still the latex on.
It's some
the Alex
like,
Ross, Jack Kirby ones.
said the word perfectly. Retro futuristic. It's some Jetson shit.
It is
Yes,
Jetson.
It's Jetson shit.
If the Jetsons had
Jetson
powers.
chic.
I like that.
Yeah,
Jetson
if the
chic. That's a
Jetsons
good
had
term
powers.
right there.
That's the word, for what's going on, right? Where, it doesn't look like sci-fi from today's age. It looks like sci-fi from the 50s.
Yeah. So that's like
And
that.
I love this. This is like one of those properties where like the Fantastic Four is my favorite team in all of Marvel. They have a great rogues gallery of characters. Doctor Doom, their main character villain, is like my favorite.
No sign of him in the trailer, right?
Villain. No, he's not in this, but like he's in that world. So I just love the fact we're getting like this first glimpse into this. I've been waiting for them to do this.
Robert Downey, is he going to come as a
He's
villain?
supposed to be Victor Von Doom, yes.
Yes, he's Victor Von Doom, but we're not sure where.
Are they going to blend? No.
That's going to be in the
that's
Secret
up in the air.
Wars movie.
Yeah, Secret Wars. That's for next. Well,
I-
for Doomsday for next year.
Okay,
That's next year.
I wouldn't try to catch up too much on
Yeah,
it.
he's
They
not in
clearly
this.
tried to pivot after Jonathan Majors beat his girlfriend.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't want to say fully beat his girl. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But he hurt her pretty badly.
That's very unfortunate. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then that's.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Yes. Next. Wait. So that once again, that was late July 25th. You said.
Yeah, like so end of the summer going into August.
Very
so.
optimistic movie, going to compete with Superman as
Yeah.
well.
Wow.
Both of them look like very bright, optimistic superhero movies. They're
The
kind of
movies
like
we would need right now coming
like
out.
sometimes you get those movies, like pair movies. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
movies that come out near the same time that almost seem like they're an answer to each other.
MCU.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily in this case, right? Sometimes you get something like Ants and Bugs Life.
Yes.
Clearly, they're not. Okay, can't have been entirely intended to be together
Answers
because
to
of
better
how.
movie.
I will fight you on this. Bugs Life is so much better.
Bugs Life was just Seven
A Bug,
Samurai.
Life, A Bug Life is the superior movie. Let's
Bugs
come
Life was incredible, man.
on. Yeah,
But yeah, no, I'm excited for this movie.
same here, man. Yeah, so we'll
I'm
see.
excited for this Marvel stuff. I'm not excited for Captain America,
Yes.
though, I'll admit.
All right. So for that exception that was not in the Super Bowl.
There was one exception, guys. Yes, I did. It was a late edition. It is Sinners. It's going to come out April 18th. This is the new Ryan Coogler film. It also stars Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Jack O'Connell. Gigantic cast of people I love watching. But yeah, this is actually one of those. How people complain about Hollywood not having anything like original, but this is something that Ryan Coogler himself came up with on his own and just pitched to a lot of studios. There was a big bidding war for it, and Warner Brothers ended up winning. So really excited about it. Not much about the movie we know about. Just it's about these two twin brothers who return back to their hometown, and some spooky stuff starts to happen. So
I like
Yeah.
the build-up. Watching the trailer, I had no idea going in. So that was
Yeah.
my first time seeing it. It was the build-up of the tension. It has that old Western feel. They enter the town, and then you're kind of curious what's going to happen. And, of course, eventually the reveal of what is...
Yeah, it's some kind of satanic, demonic shit going on.
Well, like
It's obviously
vampires, I think,
big
yeah.
allegories for racism.
definitely big allegories.
Big
for that.
allegories for how the
Absolutely.
monster, how people become monstrous. But it looks like a fun movie. Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan acts the shit out of that role.
Yeah.
Acts the way he
Dual
acts the shit
roles.
out of basically everything. Yeah, it's one of several movies coming out, seemingly either this year or next, where the same actor plays twins.
Yeah, you pointed out like
So he's playing two people?
Yeah,
He's playing his own brother.
Yeah,
I see.
there was
Okay.
this movie
There's
Sinners.
this. Robert De Niro is doing a movie
that
about
called?
some. I can't remember what it was called. I saw a trailer for it recently.
Robert De Niro.
He's doing one, too.
He
Okay.
with what do you call it? With Martin Scorsese.
Oh, okay, they're coming together again.
Yeah, no,
Kinda
he.
like- okay.
There's like some gangster movie
Another
about.
one?
Yeah,
Let's do
that's
it.
what they do, right? That's what they
I love
do.
it.
I can't say I'm dissatisfied.
Who's the other guy that's always in it? Oh, my gosh. This is the
Joe
short guy.
Pesci,
No.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci, yes.
but I don't think he's in this one.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't think he's active too much anymore. He did The Irishman.
Yes. He's
That
He
was
was
the
actually
last
really
one I saw
good.
of it.
He was
He
actually
was.
really good in Irishman.
I guess he's getting a bit old.
He's very old. But yeah, no, it's a couple twin movies. I think Kelsey, you mentioned another one.
There's
with,
Mickey 17 with
Patrick,
with
Robert Pattinson.
that guy. Yeah,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Sorry. But Sinners looks awesome. It's one of my most anticipated movies of this year.
Yeah, and the date for that one?
This is April 18th. So again, all these movies are kind of coming
April?
out. Yeah, April
April?
18th.
Oh, that's
It's coming out
soon.
soon.
Yeah, so we have a really packed spring to summer just trajectory of just movies coming out in the Super Bowl. You know, overall the trailers were like so. Like we had the Thunderbolts, so it was a really great highlight. But overall, you know, going into this, what
you know what? The movie trailers were a lot better than the rest of the commercials.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say going in
much more memorable.
Super Bowl commercials have fallen off.
Any stick out to you in Super Bowl?
Not in a good way. I kept laughing at the Country Roads commercial, the Rocket Mortgage. Take me home,
oh Lord,
country roads. No, it was very sappy, bro. These home loan companies have extremely sappy commercials.
That's how they get you, though.
It was like back when you see like an epic nature commercial of like big shots in the woods and stuff, and all of a sudden you see a Toyota Tacoma drive out, and there's apparently a truck ad. You know what
Yes. You know what kind of stuck out was almost like kind of anti-ad was a guy just posting a picture of himself with a phone number for 5 seconds. I don't even remember what it was, but it just stuck out to me like, oh man, he paid $1.6 million for those 5 seconds.
Dude, I'm just glad it wasn't like a Temu like commercial.
You know what? I like there was I can't remember what it was. The name of the company. It was just a bad sign, but the one that told you to go to the bathroom. The one that told you to take a piss break before the Super Bowl. Before the Super Bowl halftime. No, man. Super Bowl commercials have fallen off. Obviously, people have different thoughts on it.
They're just so expensive now. Like
they're very expensive. Part of what's happening is that, you know, marketing departments, you don't see these major ad campaigns with very creative ads because people don't watch as many ads anymore.
Yeah, people want to, like, folks buy and go out of their way to, like, not watch ads on, like, streaming services.
Right, they watch streaming services. Yeah. Very few people watch big cable. Even if you get something like Hulu with ads, it's like weird internet ads. Yeah. It's not like the old school major ad campaigns from companies like Geico.
I mean, when's the last time you've seen a cereal commercial?
Yeah, right? It's like you see a few kind of, but it doesn't feel the same at the same level.
But I think it more so speaks to the fact that, like, it doesn't matter what they're selling. These commercials just lack the creativity, I think. I hate to say this, they don't have, like a commercial. I remember, like, back in the day, like, remember the Doritos commercials? Like, they had, like, these, like, people that could, like, sign up and, like, try to earn their way on. There was one where this little kid, like, had his little boy, and, like, some guy came to meet his mom, and mom's like, all right, I'll be out in a minute. And like the guy goes to eat his Doritos, and the little boy's like just slaps him in the face, like, put it back. Yeah. Don't touch my mama. Don't touch my Doritos. It's like stuff like that. It's like it's creative. It's cute. It's stuff that like
snappy.
Yeah. I think they kind of like nowadays we're trying to just go for right. Who's popular? Who's in right now? All right, get him in there for like 30 seconds because it costs like $8 million per second, whatever. However
and
much
it's like
costs.
A whole big campaign. They do these ads before the Super Bowl to advertise the Super Bowl ad. Like it's a whole big event.
Get ready for it. It's gonna be a super cool ad.
And I don't know, it's just not as memorable.
Okay, cool.
Like it was a lot. Like even. Okay, Budweiser, you didn't used to advertise that much, right? It's usually Bud Light advertising.
Wait,
but they do the Clydesdales commercials, and those were
mainstay.
Epic. Yeah, you know.
In truth, I was waiting for a Clydesdale.
They showed one. There was one at the end. There was one like third quarter.
I mean, again, it's not that every commercial is bad. But like the cinematography, the epicness, the
impact, the feel,
the art of it, right? These were cultural touchstones.
This feel kind of lost.
Even though, everybody hates ads. In a sense, yes. But you know, people would remember, the Geico commercial, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more, right?
Yeah, the caveman.
The caveman, the little money with eyes, different things. The Speed Racer one where like, I just saved 15% on my car insurance. Let's just do Geico. You know, like this goofy, like they had like 10 different spoke people.
But now what they're doing, they're basically just like referencing all those cool ones in the commercials now. Like there's one where they kind of just took like all like the old like icons from old commercials and just stuck them in to go like to it's for an ad for
very referential
for Grubhub.
There was the Banshees of Inisherin commercial with Pod. What is his name? Weird looking guy.
Oh no,
from Eternals.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't got the name.
Yeah, no, but like they literally did a Banshees of Inisherin commercial. Barry Keoghan, which is not an overwhelmingly popular movie that came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's kind of
really good movie, but
no one's talking about it since.
Yeah,
you know?
it's people kind of like in like the sense like, oh yeah, it's a good movie,
not like widespread,
but it's not a mainstream movie
to spend $8 million.
It's not. It's wild that they did. It was kind of a funny commercial, but but especially if you watch the movie
for the fans, that was
fun. But it's so removed from when it happened. It literally seems like somebody had this idea 2 years ago, and then the whole Superman development cycle took so long that it took them, the whole 2 years to get the idea approved and financed and set. It's just too much. I don't know what the solution is. There used to be a lot of funny small commercials. The High Life commercial, the Miller High Life.
Oh, those are fun.
Remember when the guy just yelled High Life on the Super Bowl? That was the first one where they did Super Bowl ads. Or they did pre-Super Bowl ads for the Super Bowl ad, but it felt funny because you knew it was only going to be a 1 second Super Bowl ad.
Yeah,
right? It felt like they were playing on that. Like, okay, we're explaining to you why we're going to have a 1 second Super Bowl ad, and even then, just the guy yelling "High Life" it was memorable, right? I still remember that shit like today.
They did it right. The campaign worked.
Yes, the campaign worked. Remember, High Life was not even that bad a beer, honestly. But yeah, man, I honestly did not have too many memorable standout campaigns. There was the Carl Jr.'s bringing back bikini babes, but like that just feels stale at this point.
Again,
you can see boobs on the internet anytime you want.
Stale is the right word for it.
GoDaddy.com.
Yeah, right. GoDaddy.com commercials.
So
again, it was titillating back in 2005. It kind of stayed memorable for a while just because they stuck to the theme so hard. But eventually, it's like, guys, we can just see titties on the internet whenever. There's OnlyFans and everything.
It's played out now.
Yeah, like it's too late.
But what about the game?
All right, the actual
Super
game.
Bowl. Segue alert.
A little bit.
Yeah, Super Bowl 59.
All right, so obviously
that was an ass kicking.
Obviously, it was a bad game.
Chiefs versus Eagles with the Chiefs
3-peat on the line.
Which I legit wanted to see it. I kind of wanted to see history.
I'm a history nerd. Yeah. I'm the kind of guy. I get why people are hating on the Chiefs, and I kind of hate on them too. But there's a part of me that's like, man,
can they
I kind of want to see it. It's kind of like when Steph Curry and Kevin Durant were doing their shit. It's like, on the one hand, I get why people are upset, but on the other hand, let's push the limits of what's possible.
Let's see what.
Look, I would agree on that point, except for both the Texans and the Bills games had really, really weird calls.
The Bills, not as much. It was just the tough position. Those are always a little bit iffy. I'll admit, I think he got the first down. The call you're talking about, I think Josh Allen got the first down, and I know Josh Allen would agree with me that he got the fucking first down. but maybe he shouldn't have freaking run to the left every single time on short run. Maybe we should try to be a little more creative than that. Just maybe. After they got stuffed several times, they should have thought about changing it up a little bit.
Nonetheless, I think that's what detracts from this. I want to see them hit that 3-peat because it feels like it wasn't deserved to get
it. It feels a little overstated. The Texas game was a little bad, especially as a Texans fan. The pass, what do you call it? The roughing the passer calls were really bad. Really bad.
Disagree with those,
and they both led to touchdowns. So
I just feel as though this was like the worst the Chiefs have ever been, and like even at their worst, they're still like stumbling into a Super Bowl. They still
got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is incredible. Again, like they're seemingly invincible teams. So
last 6 Super Bowls, they've been in 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
So Super Bowls.
Yeah.
The last one was an overtime loss, and the only 2 times that Patrick Mahomes has not been in the Super Bowl have been overtime losses in the AFC Championship. The literal worst he's ever done was tying for 3rd place.
Dude, and that's why I thought the
tying for 2nd, really.
And that's why I thought the Eagles didn't have a chance in this game. Going, I was like, there's no way they're going to beat them because Mahomes and friends always find a way. They always find a way to win, especially if you keep them around in the game for long enough, they'll just beat you. And then a weird thing happened in this. The Eagles' defensive line just smacked them, just manhandled them, smacked them around.
The Eagles were better as a team.
Insane to watch.
As a whole, I mean, Eagles were 3 of the last 8 Super Bowls, so they're not bad.
And they're
really good.
And they're like top 3 in the NFL defense wise every year. They finish in the top. Easy in the top 5 defensively every single year, so this is no slouch defensively coming in. So, but still, it was just still crazy.
No, it was a legendary defensive performance.
Yeah,
We've seen a couple over the years.
The Bucks did it to him a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, people say defense wins championships.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, even in the Chiefs last year, that's how they won their championship.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, they weren't that good at offense.
Spags' defense was amazing, man.
Even they scored 40 points, but it was mostly because the offense fell apart.
Yeah, they
gave away
the defense absolutely did their job.
Yeah.
22-40 as a final score, but I mean that was 16 points in the fourth quarter for Chiefs, which is
like have y'all ever seen Mahomes throw a pick six? I've never seen that before.
I'm sure it's happened,
but I'm not used to seeing it. It just felt foreign. Like,
and then he immediately threw another pick, the next drive.
Yeah, so. And it kind of just, I was telling Juan, like, it kind of got boring by the third quarter because, like, all right, like.
I mean, by the half, it was already dire.
Yeah, because halftime, you see, like Tom Brady was saying, "Hey, man, I came back, but like but again, you're thinking, okay,
yeah,
what
like Tom Brady just bragging.
Yeah,
even Tom Brady. You know what? Let's face it, the Falcons lost their best defensive player to injury in the middle of that Super Bowl. That's the only reason they lost, right? You can say all kinds of stuff. The defense that held Tom Brady to 3 points at the half was not the same defense that they had in the second half.
It's all about adjustments, yeah. So I was wondering.
Sometimes adjustment. I actually told you remember? Hey, sometimes, like, literally the Chiefs need a miracle injury.
But the Chiefs and Andy Reid are, like, they're masters at adjusting. Like, okay, a brick wall.
They generally are.
They usually are. It's
we've
really weird.
seen this picture before. The Bucks, obviously, but even before that, we saw it when the Denver Broncos destroyed Cam Newton.
Oh yes, that
in
was
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Von Miller.
Listen, Cam Newton was MVP 15-1. Peyton Manning got benched.
They lost like 2 games that year. Just
one. One in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but still,
15-1, and then they lost the Super Bowl. Best team in the league. And then, again, Peyton Manning looked like an old man who could barely throw, got benched in the preceding rounds. But the defense was so ridiculously obnoxious behind Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, Champ Bailey. They had somebody else on cornerback. You remember who it was?
Kareem Jackson? Was Kareem Jackson still with
us?
No,
Kareem Jackson was with the Texans at the time.
Okay.
But it was somebody. It was Champ Bailey and somebody else. Whatever. Whoever it was. Incredible defense. We saw it with the Seahawks against a similar Broncos team.
Yeah.
Look, that was the Broncos team. Went something like 14-2. Just set all kinds of offensive records. Literally, still to this day, offensive records.
Like that works a pair of receivers. Demarius Thomas almost had
1,000
yards easily.
And then the what do you call it? The tight end. It was DT as well.
Oh my gosh. Nah.
Some DT name. I can't remember what it was. Some other tight end that put up ridiculous passing.
They were just humming on offense.
No, all records. They still have the records for every offense. And then in the Super Bowl, they got detonated.
But
they lost by 20 plus points.
But I still thought
it was not competitive.
But again, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs offense. They have Mahomes. You have Kelsey.
Man, that was Peyton Manning with some of the best offense he ever had.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, an incredible defense is the best way to win a championship. Yep. The problem with that is that it's incredibly hard to build a sustained top shelf defensive performance that we saw from the Eagles. They just lost their defensive coordinator, Big Fangio. He's gone. They're going to lose some people to injuries, free agency, trades, slippage due to age, right? Just good chance they go from top tier number 1 legendary defense to merely something like top 5 really good defense. But guess what? Their offense, Saquon slips up a little bit. Jalen Hurts is not that great at throwing. We just saw last year, frankly, that the Eagles had a terrible year after almost winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago?
Yes.
But I wouldn't call what happened in the Super Bowl to Barkley a slip up. He just set a record.
I'm saying for next year.
I see him carrying the.
You don't see a repeat of.
He won't have rushing.
I do not think
he won't have rushing record.
They just lost their offensive coordinator. If you see the history of people who put up 2,000 yards,
he's not going to repeat that.
People who put up 2,000 yards. It is very, not just rare, it's unseen that they repeat that the next year.
Yeah, I'm not asking him to do that.
Not just unseen. They usually have a down year the next year. There's a very good chance Barkley misses time due to injuries, that he's not quite the same person.
Oh, yeah. It's very hard to go back to a Super Bowl. Again, what the Chiefs have done is kind of like an anomaly.
Especially this kind of perfect team where everything comes together.
Yeah, at the right time in the postseason. Yeah.
That's why it's usually better to build around the Tom Brady, a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, these superstar top-tier quarterbacks, because they give you much more margin for error. right? They raise your floor tremendously.
Yeah, you won't have your defense.
And it's just one player who usually doesn't get injured as much, doesn't take as many hits, who you have to rely on, versus the Eagles have to rely on everything being perfect. They have to rely on A.J. Brown being elite, Devontae Smith being really good. They have to rely on Saquon Barkley being the best running back. They have to rely on their defense being incredibly just dominant.
There are too many pieces in the machine.
Yeah, they have to rely on 20 different players being amazing as opposed to one player being amazing. Not to take away from the rest of the Chiefs team. They're also still really good. But, there's a reason why we see these dynasties and this consistent success between Mahomes, even Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning. Not quite at that level, obviously. But we just see this consistent, repeated, top-tier success. Even when they're not winning Super Bowls, they're getting damn close.
Do you see the Chiefs coming back for another Super Bowl?
Of course.
60?
Of course.
I don't know if they'll be in the next Super Bowl, but they'll be in contention.
You have to go through for the AFC. You have to go through them. You just have to.
They'll be in contention.
Like, as long as
it's
Mahomes
not
playing,
a fluke. Yeah. People wanted to say, "Oh, they won a bunch of close games." Yes, because they were pacing themselves. They didn't need to go as hard. And listen, the Eagles were ridiculous. Yeah. They also destroyed the Commanders. They destroyed every team they faced in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
That was a special team. A special team, and we've seen special teams. The last time a special team like that had even close to a repeat was the Seahawks, where again, if they had some injuries in the middle of the Super Bowl to their secondary, and they hadn't.
Was that Russell Wilson?
Yeah, they had run the stupid Marshawn Lynch at the goal line.
Back-to-back champs.
They would have beat Tom Brady's ass.
They should be back-to-back champs.
And they would have won back-to-back. That was the last time we saw something like that.
Yeah.
And even then, Russell Wilson was merely pretty good at quarterback as opposed to all-time good.
I'll just give pushback here. I think Jalen Hurts has proved now that he's not just mediocre. No, he's not just a game manager.
I wouldn't say he's mediocre.
He's a good quarterback.
But he's not elite. Yeah. He's not elite.
Of course not elite, but this definitely helps his case now to say.
No, he played extremely well.
I think this Super Bowl helps his case.
He got some easy looks because they were loading the box against Barkley. Barkley didn't get much, but they were selling out so hard to stop him that the deep shots were there.
Yeah, Hurts still made the right decision.
A.J. Brown was getting a lot of one-on-one looks. Yeah. Devontae Smith got a lot of one-on-one looks. Josh Dotson. And then Jalen Hurts was able to put the deep ball right where it needed to be. Not the biggest defensive breaking performance of all time, but did it more than enough. He's a good quarterback. I won't say he's merely.
Mahomes put up a bigger number. I think Mahomes had 257 yards and Hurts at 221.
Yeah, but that was a whole bunch of garbage time.
So do you think Mahomes is still on his way to being considered an all-time great?
I mean, he's obviously an all-time great, but I think this obviously hurts his case.
Do you think this hurts his case at all?
It hurts his case to be the GOAT. It hurts his case to be the GOAT. It was already going to be tough because he lost to Tom Brady twice.
Okay.
In the playoffs, right? He would have 2 more Super Bowls already if it wasn't for Tom Brady. So that's notable. And also bad luck with a coin flip.
Right. Okay.
Sometimes that's what it comes down to. Bad luck with a coin flip. But listen, that matters. It matters that he's lost to Brady twice, head to head, and it matters that he's got blown out twice in the Super Bowl. Brady never really got blown out.
Because Mahomes is not even 30. I think he's still around for another 10 years. I think he's going to go back another 5
He's the most talented quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
I'll say that right now. You can say Brady's the GOAT, that's fine.
But from talent-wise.
But talent, skill-wise.
Okay.
Mahomes is the best quarterback of all time.
Does he need Andy Reid? Or if one were to lead the Chiefs, who would lead the Chiefs?
You know what, man?
Andy Reid would lead.
Obviously, coaching matters.
Yeah, I think
obviously coaching matters. Yeah. Even Tom Brady, when he left Bill Belichick, he went to
the Buccaneers.
He had a really good coach.
Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians.
Not Bruce Arians. Yeah.
Bruce Arians is a really good,
amazing coach.
Hall of Fame level coach.
Yeah, Hall of Fame level coach.
So, people are like, oh, yeah, he doesn't need Belichick. Okay, but he still needed a really good coach.
Yeah, you still need. You can be the best, but you need someone to bring that out of you.
The only quarterback I've seen truly win, just regardless of the coach, and was basically his own offensive coach, was Peyton Manning. That's the list. The entire list.
Peyton Manning was the offense, and so he brought the offensive scheme with him to where he went.
Everywhere he went, they're like, wait, no, we're going to run the Peyton Manning offense. He's honestly the smartest.
That was Coach Kubiak.
Smartest offensive player probably all time.
That was him and Coach Kubiak.
I don't think he gets enough credit these days because Tom Brady had more longevity, all this stuff, and obviously won a lot more Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But freaking Peyton Manning was one of the smartest, if not the smartest football player to ever play.
I'll also say this: I think if he still plays the way he's playing throughout his career, he still should be in the conversation. Maybe not the GOAT, but
On that comment,
still
I
has his
honestly
name up in
think
there.
right now he's pretty close to number 2.
he was in so many commercials as well.
Mahomes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Peyton Manning.
Oh, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was in a ton of commercials, but I don't know. Peyton Manning was better at the commercials.
Yes.
Yeah, he's really good on camera. He has a great camera.
Peyton Manning was
presence.
really good as
Really
a
funny.
spokesperson.
Really funny guy.
Really good as a spokesperson. You have to give him credit. What do you call it? Patrick Mahomes is not.
No, he's
Patrick Mahomes is
a
not.
little stiff
He's
there.
annoying. It's annoying seeing him in all these commercials.
Doesn't have that percent. All right. Well, any other last thoughts about the game before we move on to the halftime show?
My last thought is that recently running backs have been devalued heavily,
Most
especially by analytics folks who say, "Oh no, running back doesn't matter. It's they're fungible positions. You can replace them easily." And listen, again, it's like we talked about earlier. If you're gonna prioritize something, having an amazing offensive line is gonna make even a decent running back look good. Versus having a shitty offensive line will make even an amazing running back look mid.
It'll
Right?
make your running back look mid and your quarterback look bad too.
So, in investment purposes, offensive linemen last longer. Part of the problem with running backs is that their best years are often their early years,
They have a weird shelf life.
where they're
low
most
shelf
fresh.
life. Yeah.
If the free agent rookie running backs were going off for their market price, they would be some of the most highly paid people in the NFL. We've seen multiple times that a good running back can define a high-level, solid playoff offense.
So do you think, like with this case with the Eagles, with Saquon Barkley like coming in like in the season, like that?
It's not
like
just
kinda
him,
proof.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, yeah. Yeah.
We saw Ezekiel Elliott
Ezekiel
a
Elliott's
couple of
another one.
years.
Well, back in the
Leonard
day, yeah.
Fournette probably would have been that guy if he didn't get injured early on.
Derrick Henry's another one I'd say along
Derrick
with Saquon.
Henry,
Yeah.
Saquon. We've seen how these running backs can come in, put up a huge number of yards as rookies, as second-year players, and be extremely effective. The problem is they fall off a lot faster than receivers, offensive linemen, and quarterbacks. You don't see high-level 35-year-old running backs.
I mean,
so-
they can
yeah,
come back. Christian
yeah.
McCaffrey comes back, you know.
Yes and no, but it's even those guys. You don't see
Yeah.
too many of these guys being successful into their later years.
Yeah, and even those two, like Derrick Henry, like 30 years old, he's like another anomaly where he's
even at
incredible
30,
shape.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, he's still like
He's
doing
amazing
this
shape,
stuff.
yeah.
30-year-old receivers are like in the middle of their prime. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
still like, maybe by 35, you're falling off. But you get a lot more longevity and value out of a receiver, a lot less injuries. That's part of the problem. That's the main downside to running backs. Their second is usually a bad idea to give them a second contract, not because they're actually bad and because the best running backs aren't really worth the money,
It's too much risk. Yeah.
but it's a lot of risk. They're not going to be able to hold up another 4 or 5 years after the rookie contract. Is like Ezekiel Elliott is like 30 years old and he's fallen off entirely.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette, all these guys.
Same thing.
Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and now Saquon Barkley are the exceptions. But even Saquon looked pretty mid last year. A couple of years, he had a lot of injuries.
I mean, he got stopped pretty hard here at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's tricky. I mean, so did Patrick Mahomes, right? So it's not just running back, but it's tricky to rely on a running back exclusively because if you don't have that great offensive line, it's still not going to be great performance from the running back. And if you have that great offensive line, which is very expensive to have, then you can usually get away with more mid running back, especially if your quarterback is pretty good.
Yes, and so the key lesson to take away is if you send your kid to football, have him be the kicker because that's the moneymaker.
Real money.
That's the moneymaker right there, or quarterback.
Yes.
But you have to be good at that. That's tougher.
So halftime show.
Halftime
Kendrick
show.
Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar, baby.
K. Dot. Man, like what y'all
Jose,
think?
take off, bro. I'll be 100% honest.
Yeah, what y'all think?
As a spectacle, as a halftime show, it wasn't the best.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see
Kendrick Lamar is a very talented rapper,
Oh,
very
yeah.
talented lyricist,
that. Oh, of course.
but he does not have a great voice or flow.
Do you think rap doesn't really translate well to performance? Just rap
I
in
think
general?
it can, bro. I've
Oh, it
seen
can?
Kanye West live. I know
Okay.
Kanye West has fallen off. But
yeah.
Kanye West put out some performances.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Even a couple years ago with the Eminem, 50
That was a
Cent.
great one. The one in L.A.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
that was amazing.
That was fun.
Yeah.
50 Cent hanging upside
Kendrick was in that
down.
one, yeah.
All this shit. It was fun. I think it can be. I don't think it always does. A lot of rappers are not good live. That's part of the problem. It's a specific skill set that it takes to be a good live performer.
That is a skill that's different
and it
from
is
rapping
not
itself.
remotely the same skill set as it is to be a good rapper.
Exactly.
Now, but Kosi, what were your thoughts about the performance itself? Could you understand everything Kendrick was saying, and could you vibe with the flow of the entire performance?
Give us your thoughts, Kosi, as a black man in America.
No, I guess to answer a lot of people's questions, yes, Kendrick was speaking English. I think that's another thing that people just weren't. People were kind of confused. First and foremost, I thought it was a great performance. I think yes, I think Kendrick and his team were more so going for the message as opposed to like the spectacle that is a Super Bowl. I think they're like, hey, we're having all these eyeballs.
He seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah, we're getting the most eyeballs we ever had. Instead of going and playing my hits, let me go and kick off with the music that's not even out yet, kind of promoting my other stuff. But again, the messaging is what he was going for. And I really like the fact that like it opened up with Uncle Sam, Samuel Jackson. Like he's a great narrator, great voice, great orator, great actor. So just to have him like kind of be like the MC of this kind of story he was telling, and like the through line is just this whole thing of, in America, not just with black men specifically, like there's this mold. You're being told you have to be this way. You must conform. Don't really speak out. Don't really always try to fit in. And anytime you try to color outside the box, you're told to stay in your place or stay in your lane or shut up and dribble, or when you say stuff that like people don't agree with. So like it's this whole through line of what does America want this artist to do in the biggest stage ever. And he kind of sort of instead of blowing it out like we've seen in most performances, he kind of brought us into Compton, brought us into his mind, and kind of put a lot of people onto just what's happening. And there are a whole lot of stuff. They kind of treated this like a Marvel movie with all the Easter eggs in the performance.
Right. The guest appearance by Serena Williams, crip walking.
Like it's long.
I blew my mind. I was like, is that Serena? That can't be.
So like the background of that, like it's long been confirmed that she, that Drake was trying to get at her, and she was like, no, like she just had no interest. But Drake was not cool with that. You never, I'm Drake. You don't say no to me. And he kind of just was being mean to her after the fact. So like even when she was like with her new mother, he's always like sneak dissing her on songs. So like she was able to come out and just tell Drake, hey, I see you. And a lot of this was just people,
and fuck you.
Yeah, and Kendrick had the little lowercase a necklace for A minor, which
he still sung. He did sing the line. That
was a huge thing going into the Super Bowl. Will he sing Not Like Us, which won him 5 Grammys? Like this is the song where like it's being said that Drake's team is suing him like just for
suing his own label.
Yeah, like it's the least gangster rap thing a guy could do is to get the lawyers involved. So yeah, there was even like questioning like, oh, is Kendrick going to do it? And even in his story, he's like saying, oh, like some people don't want me to play this, but like playing to that. So he kind of gave mainstream audiences like what they wanted in terms of like playing the hits. He was able to come after his rap rival with the whole game over. He even said, and I loved how, like, I think I even said it before, he never said the line A minor. He let the stadium and everyone at home listening like say these like iconic lines, which is like I kind of further cemented that this was like.
Well, I think he actually did sing the line itself.
But I think it was done in a way that you can everyone else can join in, because we all know we've all yelled that part.
We were waiting for that line.
They put up the stadium noise because they got good mics. They're obviously cheering the whole time. You would have heard everything. No, they turned it on so you could hear the audience singing.
Yes, we all heard everybody shout out.
Oh, yeah.
A minor. No,
it's an epic moment of shitting on Drake.
Kendrick Lamar is quite the talented artist. I mean, that 2018 Pulitzer Prize, and now, oh my gosh.
Super Bowl, like
I will say...
He was part of that super group back with, like, Dre, Mary B.J., and Snoop. I think Kendrick was there.
Yep. He showed up a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
I will say... Again, great lyricist. Part of the problem with him, and I feel like, again, sometimes I feel like people don't like criticizing him because of what they like and what he stands for. But again, it sounded, there's a lot of mumbles, right?
Yes. I can speak to that actually a little bit. Because,
go first.
Go ahead.
Well, just clear foremost, a lot of the songs are just a lot of curse words in it, and it's like she's not a mainstream darling, so he's having to just edit the stuff in song. So it's almost like you get like a radio edit version of like a song, like almost like you get it off of Walmart, and it's
I
kind
can't
of
say where you're coming from, but even then, man,
Self-censoring.
There's some people in rap, and it's not always been a focus, but there's some people in rap that have tremendous voices, right? Like Tupac was not the most brilliant lyricist of all time, but
I'd say it was. I think it was, but
I'm not saying he's a bad lyricist. He was a good lyricist, but his real strength was that his incredible
mic
voice.
skills, yeah.
Incredible voice. Even Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was a straight up terrible lyricist.
He's great on the mic,
but he was great presence on the mic. Snoop
great
Dogg.
producer,
There's a lot of these famous people, even like Jay-Z, Biggie.
Yeah.
They just stand out in a way. And Kendrick Lamar, his lyrics and his words and his message stand out. What his songs stand for stand out. But he himself, his voice does not really stand out.
I got that.
It's kind of, he does not sound like somebody, or frankly come across as somebody who would be like the legend of rap, the top rapper. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like even Nas had these moments where he had come across the kind of wise, kind of like the distinct drawl he had.
I think Nas also has the same kind of issue.
Nas is bad live. I've heard Nas is pretty bad live, so I've heard these similar issues.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
No, but see, on the mumbling, it was so bad that the people I was watching with couldn't understand what he was saying and had to explain. Yes, he's calling Drake a pedophile in this song. That's what the lyrics mean. And they're like, oh, but what does his jacket say? And that's what they were cut up on the whole time.
Oh yeah, it was a bunch of different stuff. Like it had like lyrics of the song. It had like his producer's name on it. Again, like almost like a episode of Stranger Things where you can like freeze frame and see a bunch of little Easter eggs in the performance. I don't know. So do y'all think it was worth like because it definitely had a lot of people that are like hating on it. Do you think it was worth like, I want to say a huge backlash, but do you think it was worth like the kind of like worst halftime show ever? Like,
oh, not remotely.
Some people
there's been much worse.
Some people calling that there wasn't enough, that there wasn't enough
diversity.
Much
worse halftime, but it's.
I mean, are you going to be able to top Katy Perry with that giant lion or whatever it was?
Oh, that was amazing.
The shark.
Or Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars had an amazing one.
Bruno Mars had a couple good. Beyonce had a good one.
Yeah.
So it was decent, but it could have. It felt lacking for a Super Bowl performance.
Okay, I'm so glad Kendrick was able to get his message out and just kind of like do what he wanted to do.
It felt like
yeah,
kind of thing I would love to love. I would love to say I loved it, but I don't know. It just didn't feel like a great Super Bowl halftime performance. Right.
It didn't. I wish. So early in the summer, he had a thing called the Pop Out, where he like performed all like us, had like a bunch of people there, like LeBron was there, like ASAP Rock, a lot of LA was there. I assumed he was going to bring that kind of energy from the Pop Out to this, just show everybody the Pop Out, but on a larger scale. He kind of went the other way. He's like, all right, I want to bring y'all more into my world instead of like kind of like bring, sort of like trying to blow out. Again, I kind of like, I agree with it. I like that he did it, but I can see why it left people wanting more in terms of like a Super Bowl halftime performance, because that's the Super Bowl. We're used to that stuff. So
it's meant to be a spectacle.
It's supposed to be a spectacle. Yeah.
It was lacking the oomph, the epic impact, and some of the dancing felt uncoordinated. It just didn't have the gravity of a great show.
Oh yeah, I like the dancers. I like, again, the colors. But even me as a Kendrick fan, yeah, I was like wanting more. But I liked that he was able to have that platform to just say what he had to say.
Speaking of platform, I mean, there was also that protester who had that Sudanese flag and the Palestinian
Sudanese Palestinian flag.
Yeah, who's now banned from all NFL games.
They got him, but they said they released later. They let the guy go, but they initially were
like, he didn't send him to jail. They just banned him from the NFL.
Yeah, which is, I think again I think you should be able to use your platform to, speak your piece and say what's important in your mind.
So do you think on that topic, was he out of line?
Now, I guess there's a time and place for this. Personally, I wouldn't have done that. I think maybe leading up to it, say if you have your own social media, hey, I'm going to be at the Super Bowl. Until then, say it there. But at making it a whole spectacle there, risky. Gets the message out. Would I personally do it? No. But I'm not against him doing it.
Gets the message out.
I'm not against him doing it.
But stuff like that can backfire, man.
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
It's like those old people who deface paint, like famous paintings and stuff.
Or they throw paint on like.
Yeah, it just makes you hate. I honestly sometimes think they're paid off by old companies because they're doing a great job of making people hate environmentalists.
Yeah, like your first image is like, wait a minute, those environmentalists there suck.
Or like, you remember back in college, the annoying dudes are like, oh, you have a second to talk about the environment? I'm like, bro, I agree with you overall, but you're annoying me so much, I kind of want you to lose.
I kind of don't want the environment to be
Yeah,
okay.
like, I kind of want you to lose
Out of spite.
because, out of spite, just because you're annoying me. And I'll be mature enough to not do that, but please stop being annoying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you
And
mean.
it's like, bro, it's the Super Bowl. You're obviously here because you're getting paid. It's not your show. It's one thing if Kendrick does that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's his show, but it's just like a random dancer. It's like,
Alright.
I kind of get your right to free speech, all this
Yeah, I'm not
stuff, but I don't
against
know,
it.
right
Yeah,
to
I wouldn't do
right
that.
to a Super Bowl platform.
Okay.
I don't think that can be considered a right in any reasonable,
More like a privilege.
yeah, in any reasonable sense of the word.
I think it's like this: if you do have the right, you do have the right, but also you have people are going to have something to say about it.
Hold on,
People have
it's
the
not
right
like
to
he's
say
going to jail.
No, of course not yet.
So yeah, he did have the right,
Yeah.
and he successfully exercised that right, and he's not going to jail.
Yeah.
But the NFL also has the right to disassociate themselves
Of course.
from some guy who's not going to be professional.
People can tell him what they think about it, and like he's not.
So
he
that's
shouldn't be-
my
yeah,
take.
yeah.
Okay, like sure, fine. I don't think it was a time or place. I think again, it has potential to just cause backlash. Like, oh, I'm just trying to. I'm sorry, man. I know politics are important, but sometimes you're just trying to watch a Super Bowl and have a good time. And Kendrick is political.
I'll
there.
still say though, yeah,
Kendrick is
sometimes,
political.
yeah.
The American flag was split up with him in the
His
middle. Was
performance
there.
was political.
The
in a
Trump
sense,
was
yeah.
there, so there is some politics, and I get why some people are pissed
First
at that.
presidential appearance in a Super Bowl, I think.
It was. But it feels different from the leading act, who you already know is a political guy doing some, even not entirely openly, like, he didn't say fuck Trump,
It's just a flag. That's it.
Yeah, he
Just
didn't,
post
like,
the
say
flag.
fuck Trump.
He said nothing. Just
Like,
put it up.
there's messages there, but they're coded, deep messages that you have to, like, listen to the music and appreciate it deeply to understand. They're not the kind of messages like, revolution time, fuck Trump, conservatives suck, you know what I mean?
But I do think that it's the NFL. Like the people that back the NFL, a lot of the time they're not going to be with that Palestinian flag. We all know this, so it kind of feels as though like they're being kind of shut down. Would they have stopped it if they had an Israeli flag? I don't think. I don't think so.
I think
Probably.
so.
I don't think they would have.
From a
I think
random,
it would-
from a
any
random
flag.
dancer, from a random
Yeah,
dancer.
I feel like if they had a Taiwan flag up there, they would have ripped it down.
Taiwan,
No, but
they would have shot the guy. They would have literally shot the guy.
We
on
would not have
stage.
seen that footage though. Yeah. Okay, but you think the
No,
Israeli?
they would have seen the we would have seen the footage of the guy getting shot just to like show
But the
China.
Israeli- the-
Look, this is what happens.
But you thought the Israeli flag would be okay? You think they would have
No,
let that
I
happen?
think any.
I don't think any flag. I don't think any. I don't think any flag.
Yes.
The NFL would have had smoke for both
Maybe
sides.
the
Okay.
only one they would have been suckered into the fact, and then that was probably before Trump. Maybe like the rainbow flag. You know what I mean? Where it almost feels
Okay.
it almost feels milk of toast. It's barely even a political statement.
They
at
took
this
off
point.
end racism in the end zone because that
Yeah,
was
right.
political.
I mean, what did they
apparently.
replace it with?
They
It's
played
all
with
great.
Choose Love,
Choose love,
which I like. I also agree
Oh my
with.
God.
I like it.
I like that
I
too.
think it's a
The
more
an-
positive message.
the
Thank you.
anti-hate commercial. Oh my god!
I
With
hate you. Like,
Tom Brady and
Snoop Dogg
Oh,
asking people not to hate him.
That's so bad,
That
bro.
was weird.
Dude, Snoop Dogg. I think because a lot of folks are on Snoop Dogg's ass for performing at Trump's.
I mean,
it wasn't an official Trump thing. It was a crypto thing, but it was tied to Trump. But folks are getting on his ass about it.
They're saying
And,
he's selling
like,
out, and it's like Snoop, you're cool.
I think people are allowed to feel like that about Snoop. It's not like people shouldn't be clutching their pearls saying, how dare you? No. Snoop took the job. Snoop knew what the smoke was. Snoop should be able to stand on it. Do I agree with it? No. And
You got enough money, man.
Yeah, like and Snoop's whole thing is Trump freed a lot of like the people that he's trying to get out of jail. And that, like personally for Snoop, that's something that Trump did for him. If that works for Snoop, yeah,
Trump was actually surprisingly pro criminal justice reform.
done a lot of stuff. That's why
in his first term.
Yeah, he was there at the halftime show.
And
Yeah.
then, we've had Usher, we've had Rihanna, we had that group.
Usher's
and
was
then we had
amazing. This roller skates.
Weekend.
Yeah.
So, but a history of black artists. Do we anticipate another black artist or Super Bowl 60?
No, I think we're gonna get a
it's
country.
gonna
guy
obviously
next year. We're gonna
not
go
maybe not
country
next year, but the black artists are major part of the culture right now.
Michael Jackson's Super Bowl is an all-time. That's the one where
Prince,
he jumped.
Michael Jackson and Prince.
Michael Jackson jumped out of like the stage, right, and stood there for like 5 minutes, not saying a word. People screamed. He turns his head For another 3 minutes, people are screaming again. He hasn't even played for like 6, 7, 8 minutes, and then starts it. It's like
Bro, nobody's as famous as Michael Jackson was
it's
at the time.
bananas.
legend.
Yeah,
The
bananas.
It's unbelievable. The Motown 25 show.
Oh,
Obviously, I
my
didn't see it
God.
live, but watching the video of it, oof.
For all you people out there, that's where he first did the moonwalk. That's like you're watching some like it's like you're watching magic
black
happen.
magic.
Like like the video feels as though you're watching like something otherworldly happen, and like the crowd was like,
And that was like 50 years ago.
yeah, it was like,
More, I think.
jeez, we're old, man.
Yeah.
We're old.
But that was before we were born. We're actually young.
Oh,
Actually, we're young. But for some of our listeners, hopefully, I don't
Some
know.
more shit that happened before we were born.
all right. Final thoughts on the halftime show.
It was good. I'm glad Kendrick did it, but it could have been better. I wanted better, but it's okay. I know he could do better, but overall, I'm all right with it.
I appreciated the good things about it. Did not like. I get why people are criticizing it. Again, I feel like there's a certain part. I sometimes get why conservatives are upset because I feel like people say, "Oh yeah, Kendrick's the greatest rapper alive," and it's like, okay, but then we've had a drop off of greatest rappers alive from what it was, 20 years ago.
Or at least play the
Who
hits
was
that
the
I know.
last like really impactful rapper?
I don't know. You can say probably Jay-Z, Eminem. Drake obviously was huge in his own way, but he's never felt like the best rapper as much as like the most famous one.
Right.
Felt like the evolution of Lil Wayne as opposed to an evolution of Tupac, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that.
Obviously, Tupac and Biggie are the two main ones most people talk about.
But I guess I'll say this closing. Like I think part of being a great rapper is that performance aspect. Yeah, Kendrick may be lacking a little bit in the performance, but overall, it still doesn't take away the fact that he's a electrifying entertainer, artist.
It was fun
Yeah,
to watch all
fun
the
to
way
watch
through.
him.
Even if I couldn't understand all
Yeah.
the lyrics, I knew the lyrics were beautiful, and I knew he had the message there, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show.
Could have used
but-
subtitles.
Yeah, you know what? I tried to look for closed captions, and I don't think it was there for that song.
Bro, that was back in the day. They don't hire people. That was actual literal people typing out what happened.
Yes.
That's why it was bad a lot of the time. It was
Live
not like
typing.
the TV, like AI or whatever these
I
days.
did see a American Sign Language performance of
Yeah.
the halftime show, and that was epic. He was really into it.
That's awesome.
They do get
That's
into
really
it.
cool.
They do get
That's
into
really
it,
cool. Hey, we're deaf people deserve to have good
Yes,
performances, I guess, too.
they do.
All right, so I think it's time for the plug of the week.
It's about that time.
It's about that time, fellas.
All right, let's see.
Jimothy, guest first.
Oh man, what am I gonna plug? You know what?
Timothy, what you got to plug?
I'll go ahead and plug the game Space Marine 2, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I think they just released another level, and the
They
game
put it in his top 10 just last week.
Yeah, so
Can't
I'll
get
bring it
enough.
up
Double
for
hype.
just this is the last time I'll mention it because I'm still playing it, and I don't usually play games this long. Usually I play a game for like a day, like a month, maybe 2 months, and I'll get tired of it. But this one's been like 6 months, I think, and I'm still enjoying the gameplay. So it's there, it's repeatable, and I'm having fun.
Cool.
That's awesome to hear. Kosi, you want to go next? Or
Yeah, my plug of the week is actually a great show on Amazon Prime called Invincible. It's the latest season of Invincible. They've released the first 3 episodes. For the viewers who don't know what that is, it's based off of this incredible run of graphic novel comics. So, and Amazon is now adapting all of it to as a TV show, and I've loved it. I know Juan's checked it out. Jim, I don't know if you've checked out the
I'm
show.
pretty
a
sure we
little bit.
reviewed it on the show.
We've covered it on the show. I don't want to spoil too much, just so you guys as viewers can go out. But yes, it's great.
Quality superhero
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
If you're the kind of guy that's tired of most superhero stuff and tired of Marvel,
Oof.
this is something that
Right
will
up
keep
your
your
alley.
interest.
What's the name of that again?
Invincible. Yeah, you can-
Invincible. And there's how many seasons now?
3.
It's the 3rd
Reese.
season.
Yeah, third
and
season.
like a short movie.
Oh, and a short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an Adam Eve episode, and like I think
Call it
one
a
episode.
long episode.
Would you say it's more mature or?
Oh yeah.
Very mature.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Very
yeah.
mature. Not just in terms of the gore and violence, but in terms of the themes,
Subject matter,
the way the characters develop. All the characters are complex, right? You don't have like these corny, flat characters.
Not
that
falling
are-
into typical tropes.
There's some tropes,
There's tropes, but it's
they
yeah.
play on the tropes in fun and unexpected ways.
Yeah, it's woven into the story very well.
Some of the tropes they lean into, some of them they lean against, in a way that it feels fresh.
Nice.
Feels original, fresh, unique, feels coherent, Feels like the characters are real characters and that the show is focused on their story rather than just putting together some big fight for the sake of, the evil villain that has to be stopped. It's a very family and character-focused show.
That sounds fun. And where can they find that again?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. All right. And Juan, so what's yours?
All right, so plug of the week, and I had a hard time with this because I wanted to plug two different things.
Yeah.
I think I'm ultimately going to go with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You've been plugging this show.
Frankly, my other plug, Flow, was a better movie.
All right, I'll
but
plug Flow.
I watched Flow, just quick half plug. But no, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Frankly, this is a show I was not expecting to be good. It's from Marvel Animation, not really MCU, but kind of MCU. They actually reference the events of Civil War and the Sokovia Accords very directly, which is kind of funny if you remember that Spider-Man was involved in the airport fight for the Sokovia Accords.
Ooh,
Yeah, he was there.
So they reference those accords with Spider-Man watching them and commenting on it. It's kind of funny. It's a very meta. It's a meta little thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But in general, it's just kind of like I said with Invincible. It's a very character-focused show. We have a black Norman Osborn, who you know is going to be a tragic character, and they play into that by making him a wonderful character you root for. He's a great black father. He's not cruel. He's tough on his son in some ways, but loving and respectful.
He's not like the usual Norman Osborn we've seen in the other iterations.
Exactly, and he's this businessman, but he's really focused on how the Avengers, it's kind of his arc right now is that the Avengers are not doing a good enough job and they're failing, and that they need new breed of superheroes that have accountability and are not too big and gotten too big for themselves. So he has great intentions, right? Deep down he's going to turn into Green Goblin and be the villain eventually.
But it's like you want to see this.
But
you want to see him go
the
down
way
this path. Yeah.
it happens, it's both wonderful and tragic. Same with Lonnie Lincoln, who we know
Tombstone.
if you are aware of the comic books that's going to turn into Tombstone. And again, they don't hide it very long, right? Second week of the episodes, they already tell you, oh yeah, I like to go by Tombstone. But again, he's this real good guy, quarterback, scientist, friends to Peter, real nice guy, cares about his family and his brother. That's how he gets involved with the criminal element, trying to get his brother out of that life because his brother's being stupid and getting involved with it for no reason. So it's very tragic stories, very complex whole characters. You root for them. You know they're gonna go down the dark path. And even then, I'm still at the point where I almost hope that Black Norman Osborn does not turn bad. You know what I mean? He's playing the perfect Tony Stark mentor role right now.
Okay, it's one of those.
You want him to stay good.
He's the perfect father figure to Peter Parker in high school right now. And again, you just know there's going to be a turn, and it's
So is this series ongoing right now?
It's ongoing right now.
Yes.
They just released the third batch of episodes. I'm not sure how many. They released 2 episodes week 1, 3 episodes week 2.
Oh,
so it's an odd release schedule, and it's going to be 10 episodes total from what I've
10
heard.
episodes total.
Frankly, it feels like the old school Saturday morning cartoons. This is a show that would benefit from having 20 episodes and having just one focus on Aunt May having some dates, and one focus on Lonnie Walker winning some football
some
games.
filler episodes.
Filler episodes that build up the characters. It just feels like a nice hangout show.
Yeah.
That's when it makes sense.
Hey, so where can we find this show on?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus? All right.
It's on
Plus.
Disney Plus.
course.
Only downside, the animation is not always the best, but the art style is really, it looks like a comic book. It looks the comic book panels brought to life and in a 3D way, which I think is really cool look visually, still wise. Just the animation, the frame, a lot of frame skipping where you can tell that computer animation can only do so much versus the hand drawn. So that's probably my only gripe with it.
All right.
Really good show that did not deserve to be anywhere near as good as it's coming out to be.
I'm looking forward to checking that out then.
All right, Nolan, and thanks for the plug of the week. Thanks, man. And, dude, thank y'all. And
thank you, Kosi.
Dude, I want to thank you, Juan. Thank you,
thank
Jim.
you.
And also, most importantly, thank you, the listener. I want to thank you guys listening right now. Seriously, guys, thanks for tuning in once again to another episode. Again, you can find us on any and every social media that there is on there. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, not Twitter. Find us on Blue Sky. You can find us a little bit on
Twitter. No porn bots for us.
Right? You can find
Are you on Pornhub yet?
Soon, Jim. But we're lurking on Reddit. You can find us there, talk to us, get into some conversations with us on Reddit. Also, find each episode on YouTube in their entirety. We have clips, we have all the stuff you can find on there. But once again, I've been Kosi, and I'm joined always by Wani B and our special guest Jim. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Adios.
Laters.